You kept calling it divine because it hurt to call what it really is, an attachment. Today's episode is not for the faint-hearted. In today's episode, we are going to break some illusions. Are divine relationships real? Are some relationships divine and others are not? What are the signs of divine relationship? So get ready and only proceed if you have the courage to go beyond the illusion, to break free from all the conditioning, all the beliefs that you and I were taught by this society. And in the end, you can decide to choose freedom or another loop. Are divine relationships real? What if I told you every relationship is divine, even the one that broke you? Divine does not mean perfect. Divine only means that it was bringing you close to your completion. Divine doesn't mean it is pain-free. Divine means it is truth revealing. In this episode, we question every illusion that we have mistaken for love and walk back home to the divine within. Welcome to the Detachment Circle, where we dive deeper into mindfulness, detachment, and the spiritual wisdom to help you live with clarity and peace. My name is Siddharth, your guide in this journey to self-realization. Today we are going to talk about something that is going to shake the foundation of modern spirituality, divine relationships. You might have heard the phrases, it was a divine timing, I have met my twin flame, I have met my soul contract, we were destined, it was fate. But Vedanta asks you a deeper question. If everything is one consciousness, one Brahman, then what makes one relationship divine and other not? Let's dive in. Today we will understand what truly makes a relationship divine, how karmic relationships are not curses but classrooms, the bridge between the illusion, this Maya, and liberation, Moksha, in love. And I will answer your top questions on soul contracts, karmic relationships, and divine union. Let's start from a core truth of Vedanta. There is one consciousness. There is no division. It is a world of non-duality. There is no duality between divine and non-divine. There is only one, the Brahman, the source, which appears as many, and it appears in everything. The lover, the pain, the healing, the distance. Brahman is everywhere and it is everything. The divine does not discriminate between sacred and non-sacred. It simply pervades. It is everything and it is nothing at the same time. Now think of it, very logically. You don't even have to dive deeper into philosophies. Think logically. If God is in everyone, then it is also in that relationship that broke you. And in a way, you see, karmic relationships, they help you. They help you see the broken parts of yourself. They act as a mirror to show you where you need to feel whole again. So in a way, that is divine. So when we say divine connection, maybe we mean that the connection which awakened me. Some relationship awaken you gently and others, they just rip the wound open. Both are divine. One frees you, another binds you so that you can be free later on. And I want you to have a very clear understanding on this thing. Because when we see from a non-dualistic perspective, there is union. There is no difference between you or me or somebody else. We have talked about this. You and me, we are so different. We are in different locations. We have different experiences. Our age, our choices, our preferences could be different. But if we strip all of it, If we strip this body, strip our thoughts, strip our titles, what are you? You are a consciousness and I am a consciousness. That is same with you and me and everything and everyone else. So there is divine in everybody. So a lot of times in this spiritual community, that's what I've been seeing, there is a concept which is kind of pushed into people's mind about the divine connection, that one relationship is divine and others were not. So they are kind of sold this idea of one grand divine relationship. See, healthy love and unhealthy love, I understand. From where I see, unhealthy love is not really love, it is an attachment. And everybody deserves healthy love. And in order to do that, they need to make space within. That void which we try to fill with people, with things, with materialistic things, by chasing, we try to fill that void with something. But that void is your sacred space. Because when we try to fill that void with something, it is an attachment. We make it a part of our identity. And that's why we feel insecure, we feel anxious. What if I lose it? And it keeps you stuck. So, yes, unhealthy love or attachment definitely is, and then there is love. But in both the cases, divine still is present. Right? You and me, so different. We have lived entirely different life. But in this moment, both of our choices led us to this moment. No matter where you are, where you are listening me from, in this moment, we were meant to be here. And how does it work? Divine. There is karma in it. So even when I label certain relationship as karmic relationship, that necessarily doesn't mean it's evil. It is more of an attachment. There is a lesson waiting for you to be learned. So divine relationships are everywhere. We've been sold this idea that certain relationships will turn into something magical if initially you are able to deal with all the toxicity. Probably they are triggering you, your attachments. It's kind of like promoting more attachment. Rather than realizing your own power, these concepts are making you attached to other people. And that's false. You are whole all by yourself. That space, that sacred space you create within, the love bloom from there. So the divine relationship which you're talking about, it starts from within. And then you meet the right person. Then you have your own idea of healthy love without attachments, with more freedom, more expansion for you, for your soul, for your partner. It's going to feel expansive. You'll not be shrink in it. So divine is everywhere. In you, in me, in our choices, in our karma. For two people to meet at the same time. If I walk into the coffee shop and somebody spills the coffee on my shirt, for that to happen, think of it, millions of choices. So many different karmas working together for me to be there in that moment where that coffee will be spilled. Not a second before, not a second later. Exactly in that moment. And divine is not only in that person who spilled the coffee to teach me a lesson, maybe. No. The divine is everywhere, in that barista who was making that coffee, and people around me, in the traffic outside, everywhere. For a thing to happen, the divine is everywhere. So do not fall for any idea of one great grand relationship which is going to be amazing for you, which is going to ascend you. You will ascend all by yourself. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be dependent on anybody else. Your awakening is not dependent on other people triggering you, or you stay with somebody just because of the triggers. That's like worshipping your own wound. So we need to rise above it. So divine relationships absolutely exist. They are everywhere. And a lot of times, the trigger not only comes from your partner, it could be from somebody else. A stranger complimenting or commenting on your clothes, or it could be your boss. And I know we all have dealt with some toxic bosses. In the last corporate company I worked for a horrible person. And she definitely tried to trigger me by saying mean things, some things which were not even ethical. And I still took it as a test. So, will I not call that lady divine? Because she somewhere helped me overcome certain barriers. But you do not see people worshipping their bosses or labeling that relationship as twin flame. That's the thing. Divine is everywhere, in every relationship. And ask yourself, which relationship in my life helped me awakened? Both through pain or freedom. All. Every relationship has a purpose, and that purpose is for you to ascend. The methods could be wrong, and that is because of our attachments, that it takes longer and some people suffer more because they are failing to learn the lesson. They are failing to stop outsourcing their own happiness in other people's hands. Let's talk about karmic relationship a bit. See, karma does not punish us, it educates. So every relationship or even every person you have met is from a chapter of your soul's curriculum. And what is the subject? What is the learning? How attached are you to your own illusions? In the end, everything is about this, the attachment. Because think of it in a deeper sense. This is the one life we have got. Think from this person, from this body's perspective. We have got one life. And we very well know the moment we were born, our death was destined. So we know that this is temporary. We very well know that this is not going to last forever. But we still hold on to things. And that's attachment. And it is not created by your soul. It is majorly your identity, your ego driving it. So this entire game is all about detachment, becoming free from temporary things and focus on what is eternal. Realize what is eternal. Live what is eternal. In that state of Sat Chit Anand. And that is bliss, that is love. And it starts within. It blooms within. No other person is going to give us that if we do not have within us. So that void, do not try to fill it. That is your sacred space. The love will bloom there. In Vedanta, this attachment is known as Rag Dvesh, attraction and aversion. We run towards the things which gives us pleasure and run away from what gives us pain. Both are a form of bondage. And when you go beyond these rags, when you go beyond these attraction, when you experience that detachment, that vairagya. That's when the divinity enters. Even in karmic relationship, even in a relationship where you feel a lot of pain, flip the script. Instead of asking, why is it happening to me? Ask, what's in it for me? What is it trying to show me? That's when you allow divinity to enter the room. You stop personalizing the pain and start witnessing it. It's not you who's crying for that loss, because the true you, the divine you, already knows that there is nothing to lose, there is nothing to gain. It just simply is. Your ego has a lot to lose, and your soul has nothing. It's free, it's eternal. So ask yourself, what is that thing you are so attracted towards? You're running towards it. What is it giving you? And also ask, what are you running away from? What is one thing you don't want to face? In this path, truth prevails. There is no space for false, and you have to be real with your own self. Now let's take a look at how Maya operates in modern relationships. Maya means illusion. Not that it is fake, but it appears real. It looks, it feels real. You meet somebody, you feel that high, you feel that attraction, so magnetic. There are synchronicities, there is alignment, and your mind whispers to you, this must be divine. But intensity is not divinity. Intensity is often unhealed energy recognizing itself. It is the ego's excitement disguised as soul's calling. In Vedanta, this is called adhyasa, means superimposition. You project your own desires, wounds, and longing to somebody else and then call it divine. So you see divinity where it is actually dependency. Let's try to understand it in a deeper way. We have already established this context that there is divine in every person, right? One is more divine or other is less divine. No, there is divine in everything and everyone, right? Now think of it in this way, okay? Just try to see things from a different perspective. What if relationships are a part of Maya? What if the relationships, the marriages, the companionship is all part of the Maya because it's part of this society? So when it is a part of Maya, then all the laws and rules of the Maya also applies here, which mean if it is a relationship based in this society, then it should match your idea of relationship, where there is mutual respect, where there is communication, where there is empathy, and of course care and love. Very real world rules applies here in this relationship. If two people need to be together, two very different divine people need to be together, they have their own set of preferences. It is about adjustment. It is about matching each other's expectations or standards. So if we apply the real world rules here, because it is a part of real world or it is a part of the Maya, then we will not be attaching with somebody, or we will not be suffering in pain with somebody just because we think or we have been sold this idea of divine. And this idea could have come from anywhere, probably astrology, probably similar interests, probably through mutual friends, or probably through arranged marriages. A lot of people who DM me, especially in India, when there is a concept of arranged marriage where the two parents meet and then they assess each other with their real world rules, and then they decide that, yeah, probably we should move ahead. And then, of course, the couple meet, they interact with each other, and they go ahead. And also, a lot of times, there is astrology in place, there is Kundali in place, and then they match. So, what is that? Just because of that Kundali, just because of astrology, or just because of the assessment, now you are thinking that it is divine? Why are we so afraid? We'll call arranged marriages what they are. It is a settlement. It is a trial and error, right? Again, because you have matched those rules, you have matched those standards, everything ticks, And okay, probably it is divine, but it's a very big probable. So don't come into this illusion of that will be divine and others will not be divine. Don't fall for it. Arranged marriages, maybe they work, or maybe it is what it is. It is settlement, and there is nothing wrong with settlement. Yeah, if two people want to stay together, there is mutual respect, there is love, then of course even this settlement can turn into something beautiful, a great relationship. But let's not label it as divine. Let's not fall for this divine. Your arranged marriage partner or your own boyfriend or girlfriend, both are divine. One is not more divine, another one is not less divine. So let's make that clear. So we have been sold this idea of a divine relationship, whereas everything is divine relationship. So in the real world, what we'll be doing, we will have our real world standards. So somebody might feel divine, it may feel that high, or it may feel that intense, but a lot of times it may not succeed. Just because they have the potential, just because you felt the high initially, does not mean it was divine. Don't fall for that idea. And also don't fall for that idea that, okay, once you go through this suffering, then something magical is waiting for you. Something magical is not there in the future, it is here right now. This moment is magic. So yeah, if a relationship is expanding you, it is helping you grow, ascend, go ahead, put more energy in that relationship. If you think that it is shrinking you, then be free. And don't be afraid that you will not find anybody else. It is better to find yourself. If you are losing yourself every day, then it is time to pull the plug. Now close your eyes and ask yourself, do I love this person because it expands me, they align with my soul, or they are soothing my wound? If your answer feels heavy, that's your ego. If it feels freeing, liberating, that's soul. Can we call a relationship divine? Yes, absolutely. Let's call it healthy love. Let's call it actual love. Let's call it truth. And everybody deserves it. But before you reach there, you need to let go of your attachments. Be real. So since all the relationships are divine, every person, every encounter is divine, then how do we convert that into a healthy love, into a good relationship, into a healthy relationship? A relationship becomes divine not only when it gives you bliss, but also when it gives you truth. Truths about your attachment, truths about your shadow, truths about your capacity to love without attachment. So divine love will not say that I need you. Divine love will say, I see God through you. I see divine through you. It puts me in a very calm place where my shoulders are relaxed. My nervous system is not always on alert. When I am not consciously chewing my nails while waiting for their text. A divine relationship is freeing. It is calming. And sometimes it is boring because you have never experienced anything like that. It is slow. It is calm. It is eternal. And this does not mean that you will not feel the highs. Why to chase the highs? Because they will be followed by the lows. How about we experience something in the middle? Something which is eternal, which is bliss. And that's why the divine relationships will not complete you. They will not give you that feeling of completion through other person. The divine relationship will remind you that you were never incomplete. It will keep reminding you your own power, your own freedom, your own free will, your own choices. So my suggestion, a relationship can become a divine relationship when both of the partners are working on themselves, on their own completion, on their own individuality, when they are free from within, when they are free from the attachment, from the bondages, when they are not trying to fill that empty space, that void. Any relationship has a potential to become a divine relationship. But then again, both the partners need to work together. I often see that the idea, the concept which has been sold as twin flame, majority of the people who are working or who are going in that journey are women. Women have been sold this idea that once you undergo this trouble, you will have some divine reward. How many men are working on it? Ask yourself, if you are on such journey, how many men are actually investing time into their own spiritual growth? They could be, of course there are, but again, not a lot on twin flame journey. So what is this divine relationship concept has been feeding you? More dependency, more suffering. So yes, if both the partners are ready to be honest with their own self, if they are ready to let go of these egos, if they are ready to let go of the past beliefs, if they are ready to break them open and rebuild, then absolutely relationships can work. Both the partner, 50-50 is needed. And in this real world, in this Maya, in this illusion, you must have your own standards. Just because it was mentioned in the older scriptures, or if there is a theory about it, there is a concept, do not believe everything. In this Maya, you will have your own rules, you will have your own standards. You enter in a relationship as a high value woman and man, without attachment, with their own individuality, ready to pour love into the other person unconditionally. There is no need, there is only want. That's what divine relationship is. First, with your own self. So have your own standards, have your own rules. If somebody is continuously failing to match that, hey, it's time to pull the plug. You deserve better because you deserve your own self. There is nothing more beautiful, more pure than meeting your true self. Let's take some questions from our audience. I'm only taking questions from my group, the Detachment Circle on Instagram. Okay, let's look at the question. These are some of the most profound ones I have received so far in this series of podcast. How to understand this is only the right person for the life. Again, since relationship, more real world. So you're not going to get a sign. Although people have been publishing this, okay, if they are matching this sign, then they are in this category. If they are matching these signs, then in this category. No, don't just fall for it. And it is not about who they are. It is about what you become through them. So majorly, spend time with that person. If I have to give you a very practical answer, since every relationship is divine, so you need to have your own parameters. You need to have your own set standards of this real world relationship. And of course, if it is expanding you, then you know that this is the right one. But if it feels that it is shrinking you and you feel there is some attachment, they are giving me a false sense of completion, then you know it is not the right one. So ask yourself, do I feel peace or panic when I think about them? And very real world answer, you need to spend time with that person. How much time? There is no certain duration for it. When you spend enough time, when you see that person continuously expanding you, you know that this is the one. You will feel it in your body, you will feel it in your heart. You don't have to go with all those checklists or all those signs. You will feel it in your heart, and for that, spend some time with that person. So you will not know until you actually know them, and through knowing them, if you are able to know yourself, they are the right person for you. Next question is very profound and I absolutely liked it. Do divine relationship last, or are those the different names for karmic relationship? Karma is everywhere. Divine is in everyone. So you are spot on. All relationships are karmic relationships and all relationships are divine relationships. Let's not separate them. Through karmic relationship, of course, we are labeling them like that because they make you feel that intense pain. It is making you learn through pain, through lessons. And the other one is more expansive. You are learning through mirrors, but in a gentle and a peaceful way. So can a karmic relationship become a divine relationship? Absolutely. The moment awareness enters, the relationship evolves. This awareness about the self. When you stop reacting and start witnessing, this karma becomes your dharma. It transforms, it evolves you. And you fulfill what you came here to learn rather than repeating it in loop. So, yes, it has all the potential. But again, like I said, real world relationships, then it needs to have real world standards as well. You're not going to suffer just because of divinity. And I see a lot of women suffering, and majority of the questions I get from the women as well. What this divine relationship concept has given you, or question everything that has been taught to you. Taught to you about how you should behave, taught to you about this is how the relationship should look like. The other person is going to be masculine and you are going to be feminine, and all these concepts. What has it given you? If it is more pain and suffering, then you know you were on the wrong path. And if you think that it was expansive, it has expanded you, great. That was your own effort, not somebody else's. Alright, next question. If everything is divine, does that mean I have to stay in a toxic relationship? No. See, divine does not mean that you will tolerate harm. But yes, it has given you a lesson. Divine means learn the lesson and walk in awareness, evolve. So in that toxic relationship, the most divine thing you can do is walk away, is leaving with compassion, with love, detach. Alright, the next question. Why do some people hurt us the most when everything is divine? That's a great question, first of all. Because they activate a part of you that you have been avoiding. They are not sent to destroy you. They are sent to show you the mirror, to expose what you are clinging on to, what you are attaching. Every person is an instrument in your awakening. Some will teach you through presence and some will teach you through absence. Is there one person that is meant for us? A divine partner? Great question. From the Vedantic concept, no. There is no concept of the one. There is only the self. There is only the consciousness. There is only the divine consciousness appearing in many forms. What you call destiny is simply alignment. Your energy meeting a lesson or liberation as needed. When you stop searching for the one, you realize that you were the one. You were the one who you were looking for. You are the one who needs to be awakened. It is self-realization. It is not other person helping you realize. The self will only be awakened by itself. How do I attract divine love? By becoming it. You do not manifest divine love. You do not attract it from the space of need. You simply resonate with it. You attract when you feel divine love within. So more work needs to be done within you. A lot of times through different rituals or different practices, we try to think that here the divine partner is somewhere else. Start putting that work which you are doing for them, start doing it for your own self. That is the best thing you can do to attract a healthy partner. So your work is not in seeking, your work is in removing attachments, removing dependency, removing fear, removing self-abandonment. And when you remove all of this, when you are in that detached space, then divine love will naturally recognize you. So yeah, that's how you do it, by putting more work within. Another great question is what to do when you are in a relationship with someone who sometimes become very cold and detached and other times show real concern. Should we adjust? Again, it's a very real world problem. But again, they have the potential. And in other times, they have a choice. So, first of all, we need to put in some work within us that what are my expectations, right? What am I asking them to fulfill? Am I asking them to fulfill any void within me? Am I asking them to complete me? If it is no, if there is no attachment, if you are able to love them freely, then this should not be a concern. But again, from a real world perspective, if you have certain standards of a partner, in case they are failing to match every time, even after reminders, you know the answer. Moving on to the next question. Divine relations give peace or bring chaos to awaken us? Both. Like we discussed, everything is divine relationship. So the methods would be different, and one which is bringing us more chaos for this real world, just to for our understanding, we call them karmic relationship, right? But that does not make them less divine. They're still divine. How to learn the lessons from life's incidents? By being more self-aware. If you are not able to see your own patterns, your own thoughts, your own behavior, then how will you learn the lessons? So more focus needs to be done on that. Start meditating. That will help you clear some space from your thoughts, and start journaling. That will also help you. But again, it totally depends on the life's lesson. Everyone will have a different lesson, different way of experiencing a lesson. So it changes from person to person. And like I always advocate, I do not do generalize thing that we put them in category and this is how you fix them. Every person is unique. Every divine person is unique, and they have their own unique way of working with things. That's why in my programs with my clients, everything gets customized for them, because that's what it takes to break free from your own karmic loops. Okay, let's take one more question. How to build a healthy relationship to self and be the person who attracts the right energy people. We've talked about this, that more love within. Let go of attachments, let go of fears, be more detached, realize your true self. You become that person who attract. But from a place of need, not possible. From a place of lack, not possible. Yeah, but there are tons of questions and I wish I could answer them all individually, but I tried to address them throughout this episode. So probably you might have some clarity on it now. In the end, all I want to say is Vedanta bring you to one truth, which is one consciousness. There is no two, there is no other, there is no twin, there is only one. Unity. There are no kinds, there are no labels, there are no categories, there is only one. So divine is everything and everyone. But in this societal norms, in this world of Maya, we will have our own set of rules for relationships. And this does not mean it is a conditional love. Your love still becomes unconditional because you have no attachment. But in this real world, in these real world relationships, people need to go beyond ego. And in order to do that, you will have your certain standards. If the person is able to match them, if they are able to work on themselves, great. If all you are getting is more shrink, more pain, more suffering, it is not liberating for you. That kind of divine relationship will give you more pain until you learn. And why to go that route when there are better routes available? The path of self-realization. Instead of following a journey which will make you more dependent on other person, which will bring more attachment, how about you take that journey which brings you to your own self, which brings you to the divine, which brings you to the Brahman, which brings you to oneness. And this oneness is everywhere. There is no other. There is only one. There is only the self, the you, playing every role, wearing every phase, loving and losing itself in this cosmic play of Maya. The divine relationship is not between you and them. It is between you and the divinity within you, the self, the source within you. This realization, this freedom, this love beyond boundaries, this bliss, this expansion is the ultimate union. So next time if you meet somebody who triggers your soul, don't ask, is this my divine partner? Instead, you may ask, am I loving them with my wholeness, or my wound, or my needs? That one question will tell you everything. You do not find that one question will tell you everything. You remember you do not that find you are divine love. Divine love. You remember that you are divine love. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked it, do let me know in the comments. And if this episode helped you see things from a different lens, maybe probably not the one you might have liked, but it gave you a different perspective, do tell me and share it with somebody who needs to hear this. Share it with somebody who is still mistaking attachment with divinity. And remember one thing, my friend. Love deeply but remain free. And everything is divine, even the endings. You were listening to The Detachment Circle. My name is Siddharth, your guide in this journey to self-realization. Until next time, stay aware, stay curious, and stay true to your own self. Goodbye.